2004, we actually looked into adopting, and then we ended up being able to adopt Cora through a friend of the family. I even got to cut the cord. She was born June the 4th of 2005, but 9 months after Cora was born, we noticed that she was kind of, I guess, humped over to the side, and we thought maybe it was just a pinched nerve or something like that, but it didn't seem to get any better. So then we took her to get x-rays, and come to find out she had a brainstem spinal cord tumor.
I know me personally, I was just in shock and disbelief. I was like, this isn't something that happens to me. This is something you see on TV, or you hear in the news, or you hear of a friend of a friend of a friend that happened to. It's never something this close to home.
Me, I thought it was just bad luck. I'd never had a child before in previous marriage, and now, I had a child from birth. Even though it wasn't of me, she was mine, and now, it really did take a toll on my faith. I prayed as hard as I could, and I felt, it just would get better for a little bit, and then it would get worse again, and she would get worse, and it rocked my faith hard. And I know I was in a bad place.
I think as her diagnosis went up and down, like, okay, she's doing better, okay, she's doing worse, that's how my faith was.
It made me feel like the praying wasn't enough, and I didn't know what else I could do.
Yeah.
And it made it rough being a father, because as a father, you think, kids always look up to dad. Dad, you can take care of anything, and bam, I couldn't take care of this.
So throughout the process of Cora having cancer, I don't think I feared anything at that moment. I think I was just so numb to the fact that we were dealing with, a child, my sister, his daughter, having cancer, and having to deal with that as a family and everything that entailed. I just became numb to everything. And maybe internally I had already casted out God, because in my eyes, why would you give a child cancer? And then I think I became so numb, because I was like, well, we've prayed all this time. If God hasn't heard us yet, when is he ever going to hear us? We were being flooded with all of this. Now's the time. And I'll never forget, Cora just kept laying there in bed with whoever was holding her, saying, I want to go home. And looking at it now, it's like she just wanted to go be with Jesus. Like, I'm thinking, like, me too, Cora, let's get out of here, let's go home.
I was there at the bedside, actually holding her when she took her last breath.
There's a passage in the Bible. All the disciples are in a room together. Not only are they in the room together, but they've got the doors locked and everything. Still in mourning of Jesus' death, and also fearful. Just like the disciples were locked in that room, that's kind of, I feel like both of us were locked inside of ourselves and not wanting to open up to anyone, good or bad, any feeling, any emotion. And that's where I spoke about it before, but about the numbness, that I was just so numb.
I really didn't even want to hear anybody say anything about, it's okay, she's with Jesus now. I didn't want to hear that, because I wanted her with me. Mm-hmm. To death, and after death, it really took a toll on my marriage. And took us separate ways, because we didn't want to talk to each other about it. We didn't want to hear about it, and it was for a while before I could even think about asking for God to show himself. I didn't even want to hear anything about that until a friend actually come to me with the book The Shack and said, you really need to read this, and actually gave it to me. I finally sit down and I read it, and it come to the point about the waterfall and seeing the man in the thing, seeing his daughter again and stuff like that, and he could either stay with her or he needed to go back, and that's kind of when my faith started to take a turn. And then it wasn't really until I met my new wife that actually her strong faith in God is what's actually started me back on the right path to come into where I am now.
Fortunately for me, I was in college, and I was kind of able to be away from the house, which there was a ton of negativity in. And being within the right group of friends to talk about it with is what slowly helped me to see that, okay, God's not at fault here.
I've started on becoming a stronger Christian. I'm not sure that I am where I want to be, and I know I'm not where I want to be. I'll probably never be where I need to be, but my fear is, still ongoing even to this day, I'm still having a hard time trusting, but I'm actually getting to a better place. You know, my wife now is a stronger Christian, and her beliefs have brought me back to a good place, and it'll be an ongoing struggle because I still have that fear of, you know, well, what if this happens, you know, and I probably will be a little better with it, but not as good as being around people that I know love Christ. It's helping a lot.
I would say current day right now, 2017, it's only been a good year, and that's pushing it, that I felt like I've truly been back, but now past the surface level, and I feel right now that I'm the closest to God that I've ever been. Yeah, we only had 3 years with Cora. Those were the best 3 years and 9 months in my life to this day. Going through all this, it's just like, I've seen him do all this miraculous things, and it wasn't mind-blowing, earth-shattering, monumental, massive things like physically moving mountains. It was the little things that I've looked back now and seen that he was in and moving throughout this whole situation.